News headlines often paint a picture of progress and positivity, but what lies beneath? In our world today, we're constantly bombarded with news headlines that boast about groundbreaking achievements, remarkable innovations, and stories of triumph. Yet the reality is often not as rosy as it's portrayed. Take, for instance, the recent headlines applauding the rapid development and deployment of vaccines. Yet rarely do we hear about the disparities in vaccine distribution and access, particularly in low-income countries. Or consider the news about the booming tech industry. We seldom hear about the high-pressure work environments, employee burnout, or the societal impact of data privacy breaches. Why does this happen? The answer lies in the appeal of positivity. Positive news attracts more clicks, more shares, and more engagement. It's a simple formula that the media often uses to engage audiences. Positive narratives can be inspiring, uplifting, and comforting, but they can also mask the complexities and challenges that lie beneath the surface. This sugarcoating of news serves a purpose. It can drive societal optimism and encourage progress. But it also creates an illusion of positivity that can distort our perception of reality. It can lead us to overlook the underlying problems that need our attention and action. It can also lead to a phenomenon known as toxic positivity, where we're pressured to maintain an optimistic outlook even in the face of adversity. The impact of this illusion is significant. It shapes our worldview, influences our decisions, and affects our understanding of the world around us. It can lead to complacency, where we accept the status quo instead of questioning and challenging it. It can also lead to disillusionment when the reality doesn't match the positive narrative we've been fed. So remember, not all that glitters is gold in the world of news. The next time you read a positive news headline, take a moment to question it. Look beyond the surface, delve deeper into the story, and uncover the reality that lies beneath. Because the truth, however unpalatable, is more valuable than the most comforting illusion. Social media, a platform for connection or a breeding ground for insecurities? In the digital age, social media has become our daily dose of dopamine, a constant stream of likes, shares, and comments. It's a world where we're all connected, yet paradoxically, it can also be a place of isolation and pressure. The dark side of social media is seldom discussed. It's not just about the perfectly curated pictures or the enviable vacations. It's about the silent battles we fight, the pressure to conform, and the toll it takes on our mental health. Recent studies suggest that prolonged social media use can lead to symptoms of anxiety and depression. We're constantly comparing our lives to others, chasing the illusion of perfection. And it's taking a toll on our well-being. Then there's the pressure to conform. Social media is a stage, and we're all actors. We feel the need to fit in, to portray a certain image, to keep up with the trends. It's a relentless race, and it often leaves us feeling inadequate, dissatisfied. And let's not forget about privacy. In a world where everything is shared, the lines between public and private lives are increasingly blurred. We're under constant scrutiny, our actions dissected and judged. It's a relentless spotlight that can be overwhelming. But it's not all doom and gloom. Social media can be a tool for good, a platform for change, a place of support. It's about how we use it, how we let it affect us. It's about finding balance, setting boundaries, and knowing when to disconnect. So, the next time you're scrolling through your feed, remember to question what you're seeing. Are you consuming content mindlessly, or are you using social media in a way that enriches your life? Are you comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel? Are you living your life, or are you just performing for the likes? It's time to rethink our scrolling habits, to take control of our social media use, rather than letting it control us. Because at the end of the day, social media is just a tool, and it's up to us to use it wisely. Ever wondered who's really pulling the strings behind the headlines? Let's take a moment to peel back the layers and delve into the world of corporate puppetry. In this dance of influence and control, corporations and the media are often found locked in an intricate tango. You might be surprised to learn that the narrative you consume daily is not always as impartial as it seems. In fact, it's often carefully curated by powerful corporations who have mastered the art of manipulation. They shape the stories, the headlines, and the news, all to fit their interests. Take, for instance, the time when a certain tech giant was faced with a privacy scandal. Remember how quickly the news cycle moved on to a new product launch? Or how about when that oil company had an environmental mishap, but the focus swiftly shifted to their renewable energy initiatives? These are not coincidences but calculated moves. Corporations influence the media in subtle ways, often through advertising dollars, sponsored content, and sometimes through ownership of media outlets themselves. This manipulation of information is a powerful tool. It allows corporations to control public opinion, shape brand perception, and even influence political and social outcomes. But why does this matter? Well, when corporations control the narrative, they can steer the conversation, drown out criticism, and even divert attention from controversial issues. This can lead to a skewed perspective, where the voice of the many is drowned out by the interests of the few. However, all is not lost. As consumers of information, we have the power to question, to research, and to demand transparency. We can choose to dig deeper, to look beyond the headlines, and to seek out diverse sources of information. So next time you scroll through the headlines or tune into the evening news, take a moment to ponder. Remember, it's always worth questioning who's controlling the narrative. Politics, a game of power, or a carefully choreographed dance? Welcome to the world of politics, an arena where every move is calculated, every word is measured, and everything you see is a result of meticulous planning and strategy. The stage is set, the players are in position, but what happens behind the scenes? What are the hidden aspects of politics that often go unnoticed? Let's take a closer look. In the past year, we've seen a series of political maneuvers that have seemingly slipped under the radar. From subtle shifts in policy to quiet alliances formed in the corridors of power, these moves are rarely the subject of front-page headlines, yet they carry significant implications. Consider, for instance, the recent change in a major country's immigration policy. At face value, it appears to be a simple administrative tweak, but delve deeper and you'll find a strategic move designed to appease a certain demographic, a classic example of political maneuvering masked as bureaucratic procedure. Or take the quiet alliances that are formed away from the public eye. These partnerships, often born out of convenience rather than shared ideologies, can dramatically alter the balance of power, influencing policy decisions and shaping the political landscape in ways we can hardly predict. These hidden agendas and strategic moves are not confined to domestic politics. They extend to the international stage, influencing diplomatic relations, trade agreements, and even conflict resolution. They are the unseen strings that guide the puppet show we call politics. The implications of these hidden maneuvers are far-reaching. They can shape policy, influence public opinion, and even change the course of history. Yet, they often escape public scrutiny, hidden beneath the surface of catchy headlines and flashy sound bites. So the next time you hear a political headline, remember there's always more than meets the eye. Politics is not just a game of power, but a carefully choreographed dance, where every step, every move, and every turn is part of a larger unseen performance. It's up to us to watch closely, to question, and to seek the truth that lies beneath the spectacle. In a world where everything is interconnected, can we afford to only see a local perspective? It's easy to get caught up in our own neighborhood, our own city, or even our own country, but the reality is, we live in a global community. A ripple in one part of the world can send waves crashing onto distant shores. Think about it. An election in a far-off country can influence global politics and economics. A tech breakthrough halfway around the globe can revolutionize lifestyles continents away. Even a tweet sent from one side of the planet can spark dialogue and action around the world. We're living in an era of globalization, where borders seem to be fading away, at least in the virtual world. This digital closeness brings us in contact with cultures, ideas, and events far beyond our immediate environment. And with this contact comes influence. Influence that shapes our thoughts, our actions, and inevitably our future. That's why it's vital to understand the global implications of current events. It's not enough to know what's happening. We need to understand why it's happening, how it's happening, and most importantly, what impact it could have on the rest of the world. Imagine a world where we all thought this way. A world where we all considered the global implications of our actions. We'd not only be more informed but also more compassionate, more understanding, and more prepared for the ripple effects of global events. But it's not just about being informed. It's about sparking dialogue, challenging norms, and driving change. Because the more we understand, the more we can influence and shape our global community for the better. So remember to always look beyond the local headlines and consider the bigger picture. It's time to broaden our perspectives, to think globally and act accordingly. Because in this interconnected world, we're not just local citizens, we're global citizens. And as global citizens, we have a responsibility to understand, to care, and to act. So remember to always look beyond the local headlines and consider the bigger picture. As we navigate through this interconnected world, it's crucial that we embrace our roles as global citizens. This isn't just about being informed about global events, it's about understanding our role in them. How our actions, no matter how small, can contribute to the global narrative. How a single tweet can spark a revolution. How a simple act of kindness can ripple outwards, inspiring change across the globe. It's about understanding the power of our voices in this digital age. But more than just understanding, it's about using that power responsibly. It's about engaging in constructive dialogue, challenging outdated norms, and driving progressive change. As global citizens, we have a responsibility to not just observe, but to participate in the global conversation. To use our voices to amplify the issues that matter, to stand up for those who cannot, and to strive for a future that benefits all, not just a select few. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the global perspective, remember, you are a part of this global community. Your voice matters, your actions matter, use them wisely. And remember, it's not just about thinking globally, it's about acting globally too. Closing, if you enjoyed this video and want to continue the conversation, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, activate notifications, and give us a like. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the dark side of current events. And remember, your voice can make a difference. Use it wisely.